call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I'm come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fold of God. He to rescue me from danger interposed his precious blood. Oh, to grace how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy goodness like a fetter bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. Here's my heart, oh, take and seal it for thy courts above. To everything there is a season, a time to laugh, a time to cry, a time for night and day, for work and play, a time to live, a time to die. So I will trust in God, the changeless one of eternity. The seasons change, the flowers wither, the years bring age and memories fade. The only solid place to place your faith is in the one who orders time. So I will trust in God, the changeless one of eternity. For every life there is a reason, a master plan God has ordained, a loving God who made and then forgave, who numbered each and every day. So I will trust in God, the changeless one of eternity. So I will trust in God, the changeless one of eternity.
Folks, we will dismiss the children to their classes at this time. And if you're turning your Bibles to Matthew chapter 5. Let's pray together. Father, thank you that we can come together this morning on the Lord's Day to your house, to the house that we call by your name, Lord, and we uphold the Word of God. We know that the church is to be the pillar and ground of the truth. And we pray that as truth goes forth today, that it will do the work that only the Bible can do. That it would reprove us, correct us, instruct us in righteousness. This morning, as we continue our study in the Beatitudes, Lord, help us to learn and to be instructed by the teachings of Christ. We surely live in a world that's totally upside down. This world is deceived. It's controlled by evil. There's corruption, abominable practices and laws. But we thank you, Lord, that we that know you as Savior, we have peace, we have joy. We don't feel threatened. We feel loved. Help us to have that compassion. And as we'll see this morning, the meekness of Jesus. Thank you for the salvation that's provided as a free gift to us through Jesus Christ. May we humbly come as Christians to place ourselves under the Word of God, to be instructed, Lord, in the way of righteousness. And I pray for any that do not know Christ as their Savior or are unsure, that today, Lord, that the Holy Spirit, as He works in their lives, would draw them to yourself, and they could be gloriously saved. Honor yourself now, Lord, as we open up your word, for I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. So this morning I'm continuing a series I started at the beginning of the year through the Beatitudes. We're looking at the 8 Beatitudes. We're trying to endeavor to do what we can to have a blessed year. Not just a good year. People in the world can have a good year. They can have happiness. We're looking for blessing. We know that is the difference. And when we ask for the blessing of God, it doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. It can be very hard. And you and I can go through a lot of things in life that are not pleasant. But if we're adhering to the Word of God, we're submitting to the will of God, then we can know it'll be a blessed year. And this morning we're going to look at a word, meek. It really goes contrary to almost what we have to be in this world. In this world, we really have to stand up. It's a world that we've got to fight the good fight of faith. And there are a lot of agonizing and struggling to combat what this world throws at us. And but this morning, we're going to contrast that with how Christ calls us to be. And that is to be meek. And I've spent a lot of time this week trying to understand. This is a challenging word for me. This is a challenging message to try to convey what meekness is, especially how we're supposed to be in this world. And I pray that the Lord will help us to understand that. I've titled the sermon today, the greater sermon is Have a Blessed 2022. The sermon today is The Making of a Meek Man. The making of a meek man. I just have 4 simple points. The first one is the definition. So let's pick up with Matthew 5. Let's read verses 1 to 5. And seeing the multitudes, he went up and to a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The word meek here, pros, has the idea of mild and humble. It's like a spirit of goodwill, a spirit of clemency. I'm looking to forgive. I'm not looking to retaliate. I'm not looking to stand up for me and my rights. In the midst of the vexations and the cares of this life, there's calmness with those that are meek. Forbearing and forgiving, gentleness and submissiveness are all part of this word. The etymology of the word, when it was used back in the day, it was usually used to describe a soft breeze, or soothing medicine. It's associated with lowliness. Jesus said in Matthew 11:28, Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm battling the sinus infection. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me. Now, we're going to come back to that at the end of the sermon this morning. Learn of me. That's exactly what we disciples are to do. And a lot of the things the Lord is going to teach us to learn go contrary to our own nature. Take my yoke upon you. Excuse me. And learn of me. For I am meek. Jesus calls himself meek. I wonder about ourselves. Would we identify ourselves as meek? I've never heard anybody do that. I've never heard somebody say, I've heard people say, I'm a soul winner. I'm a man of faith. I'm a woman of prayer. I love the Lord. I've rarely heard somebody say, I am meek. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls. This word was used of taming of a lion, bringing the lion under control, of a wild beast, bring him under submission. It's the idea of power under control. Let me read to you what one man said. This word was used to describe an animal which had been domesticated, which had been trained to obey the word of a command, which has learned to answer to the reins. In other words, like holding the bridle back on a horse or something. It is a word for an animal which has learned to accept control, such as the taming of a wild stallion. Thus the meek man has self-control. He has his passions and anger, but they're under control. He knows when it is the proper time to be angry at that which is wrong or unjust, and when not to be angry. Ruling your spirit is meekness. It takes great strength to have self-control and self-discipline. Proverbs 16:32, I think, sums it up. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. It's not just a lack of conviction. I'm meek because, you know what, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to take any kind of stand. So it has nothing to do with a lack of conviction. It has nothing to do with human niceness. Because there are some humans they're very nice, very meek, mild. This is the word that speaks of the courage and strength that comes from God. It talks about a spirit-filled man or woman or teenager who is under the control of the Holy Spirit, because we know the fruits of the Spirit. Galatians 5:22. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness. and intemperance. The meek have died to themselves. Therefore, as you look at a meek person, they're not worried about abuse, injury, insult, or loss. They look to the Lord and they say, well, this is how the Lord lived. I don't own myself now, so really I have nothing to lose. One man said this, it was the lack of self-control which ruined Alexander the Great, who in a fit of uncontrolled temper, in the middle of a drunken debauchery, hurled a spear at his best friend and killed him. No man can lead others until he has mastered himself. No man can serve others until he has subjected himself. No man can be in control of others until he has learned to control himself. You can imagine that the Jewish leaders, this would be very hard for them to receive. They were expecting a Messiah who would come in and just dominate, who would just demand, who would take control. Not someone who would be weak and gentle and meek in their eyes. They didn't understand the Messiah would be with meekness and poorness and mourning. They were looking for someone to come up and set rule over the Romans and against all the enemies of the Jews. Take over the world with a fist of iron. Deuteronomy 21:22. And if a man hath committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of God. So Jesus hanging on the tree is the Messiah. They look at, this can't be the Messiah. This is weakness. This is not who the Messiah should be. Even the Romans and others mocked and taunted, spit and railed upon Jesus. Matthew 27, verse 39, and they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads and saying, thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests, mocking him, with the scribes and elders, said, he saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God. This is not what they expected. They rejected, hated him, and killed him. Instead of Jesus approving of their religious and practices, he condemned it. They should have known better. Because in the Old Testament, in Isaiah 53, verse 2, speaking of Christ, for he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry land. He hath no form nor comeliness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He is despised, and we esteemed him not. He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before his shears is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. That's a little bit of a definition of meekness. A word that I believe it takes many other adjectives to describe and get the full meaning of this word. Let's look secondly at demeanor. Two aspects of the demeanor here. If you're taking notes on your sheet there, first of all, there's meekness toward God, and then we'll look at meekness toward man. So the Bible portrays the demeanor of a meek man first toward God. The Hebrew scholar Gershonius says this, that the meaning of the Old Testament word for meekness involves a lowly, pious, and modest mind, which prefers to bear injuries rather than to return them. Boy, does that go against our own nature. Meekness is not only the opposite of pride, but of stubbornness, fierceness, and vengefulness. It is the opposite of self-will toward God and of ill will toward men. The meek person will not expect to be always treated with respect and reverence. He will do his duty in the station where God has set him gently and lovingly, seeking not honor from men, ambitious only to be well-pleasing unto the Lord. So toward God, our demeanor, submitting to His will, not murmuring, not complaining, not whining, but with calmness. Let God do what He wants to do, because He's God. As Gershenia said, it's the opposite of self-will. There are those that quietly submit to God, His Word, His chastisement, His directives, and comply with His commands. Meekness makes us pliable in the Lord's hands, teachable, conformable. It's a humbly bowing to God's authority, just like we see in Christ. He was led, not dragged, as a sheep to the slaughter. And when reviled and buffeted, He closed His mouth. He threatened not. So how does meekness work toward men? Our problem is many times, I can confess myself to the Lord, I can admit all my sins, but when somebody else calls me a sinner, it's harder to take. The truly meek is amazed that God and others will look upon them as well as they do. And that alone makes them gentle and patient and humble. Paul said in Titus 3, verse 1, he wrote to Pastor Titus and said to his people, put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers. Now think of the world we live in today, with all the abuse, all the corruption. Okay? Put it in their mind. Okay? Put it in their mind. I just sent something out to our soul-sensitive group. Okay? And I talked about training the mind. This is what Peter is trying to do with these believers. Train your mind. Put them in mind. So, Pastor Timothy, you help train their mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrates. Remember, in this day when this was written, these were the most horrible rulers of the day. These were the ones doing atrocities to Christians. And what's Peter saying? Put it in the Christian's mind to obey. To be ready to every good work. To speak evil of no man. I'm going to challenge you here. And I don't want to see a show of hands. When's the last time you and I prayed for the premier? In a good way. Not that idiot, that unsaved, why is he doing that? He's trying to make us do, he's trying to... Meekness, to speak evil of no man. You're an American. Maybe it was Obama. Maybe it's Biden. How are we looking? Are we speaking evil? Speak evil of no man. To be brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. In other words, I don't get my feathers all ruffled and the hair on the back of my neck just standing up, and I'm ready to defend myself, to debate, to argue, and there's times for that. And we learned that meekness already is that a person under control, and we'll see some examples of that in a minute, under control can exercise anger, righteous anger. But it's under the control of the Spirit when to do that. Listen to what Peter says. That was Titus. Listen to what Peter says. 1 Peter 2:21. For even hereto were you called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that we should follow his steps, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth, who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judges righteously. We're going to see how that works out in just a minute. How it's demonstrated. How I just commit myself to God. Okay? I don't take things in my own hands. James put it this way. We spent months in a book of James recently. James 3:13. Who is a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Who's wise among you? Who's got knowledge? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. If you're really wise, you'll be a meek person. See, I think meekness has the understanding there's greater issues, there's greater battles to fight. And that's for God's glory and His honor. And there's going to be times when I don't fight or I don't do this and that. I just take it like the Lord did. And He wasn't weak. Okay? But there's greater battles to fight. These kind of people avoid giving offense by injurious words and actions. Make concessions to forgive others. It causes the believer to bear patiently with others and readily to accept rebuke and instruction and admonition, looking at others greater than they look at themselves. One man says it means to remain cool when others are heated. It reminded me of Galatians 6:1. Brethren, if any man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in a spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Let's consider now the demonstration, the third point this morning, the demonstration. I found some examples from the Scriptures. First of all, one of the hardest ones I've ever come across in counseling. One of the hardest. And God gives an example of a wife and not of a husband, because I would believe that most times this is the case. 1 Peter chapter 3 addresses a marriage where you have a husband and wife, and you have a husband who's not obeying the Word. So God kept it very general, very open. Okay? And it doesn't even clarify to me whether the man is saved or lost. You're in this marriage, and so the woman is married to a saved man or a lost man. It's not clear. He's not obeying the Word. It doesn't even clarify that. So is he not going to church? If he is saved, is he not going to church? Is he not reading the Bible? Is he not praying? Is he not helping financially support the family? Is he not being a good father? We don't know. But whatever he's doing, this man is not obeying the Word. Maybe he's not being romantic to his wife. Maybe he's not trying to meet her needs. He doesn't even know what her needs are. But he's not following the Word. First Peter 3:4. Actually, I'm going to go there and back up, because I'm going to read right before that. I'll just read you the whole thing. I think better have a context. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. To your own husbands. Wives, be in subjection. That means to place under. That's a spiritual responsibility of a woman. A man is not supposed to say, wife, submit. She's not a dog. She's not a doormat. It's the woman's job to submit. That's her spiritual responsibility. She chose to get married to this man. You submit. Be in subjection to your own husbands. Well, Susie's husband doesn't make her do that. And I'm afraid to use somebody's name because I'm going to, try to narrow it down. somebody else's wife. It doesn't matter. This is your husband. Be it subjected to your own husband, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word, without you preaching to them. That's what we think. That's why there's Bible instruction to teach us how we are to live. We think, well, you can't talk to me. You're not being a good husband. You're doing this. You know, God's going to get you. No. Without the word of the wife. If any man obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wise. So Peter says, here's the key, writing under the Holy Spirit. You tell me a better counselor than the Holy Spirit. How can that husband be won back over? Either be saved or won back over to living like a man ought to live. Okay? It's how the wife lives. It's her lifestyle. While they behold, and so the husband living with the wife is going to see that. While they behold, this is why I'm against, unless there's great abuse and stuff, I'm against separations. Okay? Because you can't fulfill this verse. It says, while they behold your chaste conversation. How can a lost man or an unspiritual man look at his wife if she's not there? So I think at all costs, I shouldn't say that, not at all costs, but at most costs, I need to stick in there and hang in there. Because how's that husband, this bad husband, how's he going to see a good wife if he's not seeing her? She's not around. Who's adorning? So Peter's going to tell him under the inspiration of the Spirit, he's going to tell her not how to dress outwardly, but how to dress inwardly. Who's adorning? Let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. Wow, is that hard? I've never had such, I don't think, more difficult cases than these. Pastor, let me tell you about my husband. Let me tell you. And in the end, I'm going to say, listen, I know you're not going to like this. I wouldn't like it if I was a woman. Hang in there. Next, rest of the verse. Which is in the sight of God of great price. That's why I'm meek. That's why when I go out in the world today and people say stuff and lie and cheat and the governments are all terrible, why am I meek about it? Because God sees. And if I'm under the control of the Spirit, under the control of His Word, I'm just going to be gentle, submissive, best I can. And this wife is a demonstration of meekness. I don't know exactly how that works. But somehow what God is saying, that woman acting this way, something, because now God is at work. When a woman is obeying the Word of God, God is at work. When a woman takes things into her own hands, well, he needs to hear this. You know, I'm going to play some sermons on the role of the husband all throughout the house. I'm going to get speakers and put them in every room. And I'm going to put magazines down, you know, and I'm going to put, you know, tracts down about being a... God says, okay, fine. I'll just step back and you do what you think would work. That's not what God's saying. We want God to bless, then we do what He says. And so He says in that meekness, God says, I'll bless you, because blessed are the meek. We don't understand how that works, but somehow it works that the husband is watching this wife, and he knows. I've done it with my own wife. I know she wants to say something. I even say to her, go on and say it. Go on and say it. I know you want to say something. Now I say it much under control. Honey, if you have something to say, go on. It's okay. What is she doing? She's looking at God. She's not looking at her husband. She's not obeying the Word. I'm looking at God. I want to honor Him. I want to adorn Him. I want to obey His Word. And that's what the meek person does. And somehow God begins to work on that man. It's not a promise. You can't say, well, if I do this, it's the same way as training up a child. Train up a child in the way he should go, Proverbs 22:6. And when he's old, he will not depart. Well, that's not a promise that if I train him, that they're never going to depart. Or if they depart, they'll come back. No, it's not a promise, but that's the best we can do. And it's the same here. The best chance is to do it God's way and see if them watching the wife, it starts to break down his heart. And I think that's what God is saying. And I think that works the same way in the world. People are used to people, you're going to do that to me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get you one better. Meekness. Saw Moses. In Numbers 12, verse 3, now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which are upon the face of the earth. Wow. That doesn't say he was the greatest faith. He was the greatest soul winner. That's what I'm saying. The Bible emphasizes meekness. That's why it's such an important message for us. And it goes against our nature. That's why we have to be learned and taught of the Lord. How does He want me to respond? So when Moses comes down out of the mountain, you got the 10 Commandments, and he comes down and he finds all these women and men naked, pretty much naked, dancing around, partying after what Aaron has done. And he in anger just throws down these 10 Commandments. Yet he was called meek, because that was anger under the control of the Spirit. That's righteous anger. Anger at the right things. He's defending God. He's not defending himself. And a woman who's meek in the marriage doesn't mean she doesn't have she's just as important as a man. 100%. Man's not any better, not one iota. In fact, you could probably say he's way down here, usually. But in the eyes of God, they're equal. They just have different roles and responsibilities, but they're equal before God. No different than Jesus. What did He do? Jesus said, Matthew, I'm weak. I'm meek. But what did He do? Okay? He went into the temple outside, and the money chamber, tossed over their tables and beating them around. He's not defending himself. He was astonished at God, how they were abusing God and the worship. God. It was a holy terror defending God, not himself. Remember on the cross, He said, I could have called down legions of angels. But He had to submit to God's will. There was meekness under control. He was not going to defend himself, but God. In Matthew 21:5, tell ye the daughter of Zion, behold, the King cometh unto thee, meek and sitting upon an ass, and a colt the foal of an ass. Meek. This threw off the religious leaders of the day. Paul, another demonstration of this. And first, I'm just going to read you some of these. Too many, so I'll just pick out some. Paul wrote to a number of churches and both his pastors, Pastor Titus and Pastor Timothy, about meekness. 1 Corinthians 4:21, what will ye? Shall I come unto you with a rod, or in love, or in the spirit of meekness? How do you want me to come? Depends on how you live, is how I come. Chapter 10, verse 1, now I, Paul, myself, beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Christ. How did he know that? Why did he use that as the underlining, undergirding statement, referring to Jesus as gentle and meek? To the church at Ephesus, with all lowliness and meekness. with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. This is the put off and put on. This is how we're supposed to live, with meekness. To the church of Colossae, chapter 3, verse 12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of God. Excuse me. Put on. This is the put off and put on. Holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness. This is how Paul understood. This is how the churches, the Christians were to be trained to be meek. Why? Blessed. Blessed are the weak. Not the meek are weak. Be strong, fight, defend yourself, stand up. Don't let somebody say that to you. Let's take up this, let's do that. I'm not saying there's not a time for that, but it's usually not a time most times we think it is. Paul said to two pastors, 1 Timothy 6:11, but thou, O man of God, flee these things. He was talking about fleeing idolatry and fleeing this. Get away from that stuff. Run! And follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Run after it. Become a meek man, Timothy. He writes to him in the second letter, 2 Timothy 2:25. In meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves. People have beliefs and stuff. It just works against them. It doesn't make sense. And you want to just pull out your hair. You want to go over and pick them up and say, what is the matter with you? Maybe punch them around. I did that to my friends when I got saved. It was a wrong way to handle things. I was a new Christian. What do you mean you're not believing this? And you're going to be going to hell and you need to do this. In meekness, instructing them. Those that oppose themselves. If God, peradventure, will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth. And then to Pastor Titus. Here it is again. To speak evil of no man, to be no brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. That's lost and saved. That's the stupid. That's the outrageous. That's the demanding. That's the corrupt. If at all possible, we're to be meek unto them. I could go on. You have Abraham and Lot choosing in Genesis 13, dividing up the land. And Abraham, he's the head guy. He could say to his nephew Lot, you know what? I'm going to choose. You get what's left over. In meekness, he lets Lot choose. Joseph, all the abuse he went through from his own brothers and ill will and all the afflictions. Yet he took no vengeance. Even at the very end when his brothers come in. And he could have had them all killed. But he forgives them. David, how many times he had opportunity to kill Saul? I will not touch the Lord's anointed. Even though Saul was trying to kill him. This is the making of a meek man. The declaration we find in verse 5, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. I had a few passages I could share with you from Psalm 37. It says basically the same thing. It contrasts, David contrasts, the wicked and the saved. It talks about the wicked, their time is going to be short upon this earth. But the blessed are going to inherit the earth. We are heirs. That's the blessing. What God has, we have. And the meek are content with what they have. Why? Because that's what God's allowed them. He's allotted them. They don't look over here and say, well, how come this Christian? I go to church a lot more. I serve in the church. They don't do anything. No. They take God's allotment. They humbly, without reservation, submit to God's will for their life, their plan. And so what the earth gives them, they rejoice. They get much enjoyment out of the earthly portions, and they're satisfied. Listen to what Solomon said in Proverbs 15. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. You wouldn't think the meek would inherit anything the way they are. You think it'd be the world and all the strong and demanding. But that's not what the Lord looks to. Let me close this morning with a couple of things. There's a difference in the poor in spirit. The poor in spirit that we study, it focuses on their sinfulness. The meekness, they focus on God's holiness. In poorness, we see ourselves and how unworthy we are in our sinfulness. But in meekness, we see how righteous God is and how worthy He is of us living that way. Being poor, we turn to mourning. Being meek, we turn to righteousness. And that'll be the next beatitude we'll study. Those that are arrogant and proud and unrepentant, they become the unblessed and the unhappy and are shut out of the kingdom of God. They serve self, justifying their own ways and defending their own rights. Salvation belongs to the meek. The Bible says that. In Psalm 149:4, for the Lord taketh pleasure in His people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Because I'm humble and I submit to God. It's the humility versus pride. I can get my way into heaven. I'm not so bad. I'm not like this guy. I never committed that. James, going back to James chapter 1, verse 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. Receive the word of God. Receive the instruction of the word of God. How poor I am. How needy I am. How meek I need to be. And this morning, if you receive the word with meekness, the engrafted word, grafted in your heart, not only get saved by it, but live by it. A.W. Tozer once said this: the meek man is not a human mouse, afflicted with a sense of his own inferiority. Rather, he may be in his moral life as bold as a lion and as strong as Samson. But he has stopped being fooled about himself. He has accepted God's estimate of his own life. He knows he is weak and helpless as God declared him to be. But paradoxically, he knows at the same time that he is, in the sight of God, of more importance than angels. In himself, nothing. In God, everything. William Barclay, in his understanding of Matthew 5 says this: oh, the bliss of the man who is always angry at the right time and never angry at the wrong time, who has every instinct, every impulse, and every passion under control because he himself is God-controlled and has the humility to recognize his own ignorance and weakness. There's a small chapel outside of Bethlehem, supposedly the birthplace of Jesus. I was there. And you have an altar, and then you have a cave and some silver lamps and stuff outside, but you go down, and to go into this, you've got to stoop down. You've got to stoop down to get inside. And what a picture of coming to the Lord. Not standing up, I deserve this. I don't deserve this sickness. I don't deserve to lose this job. I don't deserve this relationship problem I have. I'm better than that. But I stoop down and in meekness surrender to the will of God. What He's allowed in my life. Doesn't mean it's always what He wants, of course, but what He allowed. And I go through this because it's of great value. It's precious to Him to see someone like that. The picture of meekness is stooping. submitting, surrendering to the will of God, to the Word of God, to my worship of God. You worship of God? Well, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to get them rock and roll instruments. I'm going to yell and scream and dance around and we're going to have ribbons and we're going to do all of this. Well, if you want to man worship, go ahead. The Bible has instruction about how to worship God in music. Make a melody in your heart unto the Lord. Not stimulating the body and arousing people that way, but the soul and spirit. And so I'm going to surrender not to what I did at a rock concert, which I did many times, and rocking and rolling. I never, in all my life, ever associated that with church. Never. I wasn't even saved. I would have never associated that with how to worship God. I at least had a respect for God, even though I didn't really know Him. God wants to be worshipped in spirit and in truth. In worship and music and all that goes about to a holy God. I'm not coming in to bow down to some man. This is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. This is my Savior, my Captain, the lily of the valley. I've come in. And I come in to worship Him in a certain way. That's meekness. I stoop down. I deserve nothing. It's an honor and a privilege to give my offerings. It's an honor to give my music. We'll be singing here in a few minutes. It's an honor for me to worship God, to think about the words, what God has done for me, what He's done for our world. And I stoop down and submit to that. And I don't do it with lukewarmness, because that's nauseating to the Lord when I play Christian. I do it with a fervent passion and a desire to honor and glorify the most holy, the almighty, the invisible God, the creator of everything, who has allowed me to be saved, who's provided a free salvation because He knew I could not earn it or deserve it. I want to submit myself with meekness into this kind of God. The making of a meek man, I believe, is something that goes against our nature. We've got to learn that. Because by nature, our natural state, we don't have the Holy Spirit. It is a fruit the Holy Spirit wants to produce in us if we are yielded to the Spirit. I read somewhere this week, and it was a really good statement, if I can remember it. When I am filled with the Spirit, I don't get more of the Spirit. You get all of the Spirit at the moment you get saved. That's it. There's not any extra. I don't need a second baptism. I don't need a second anything. At salvation, I get totally saved, and I get totally the whole Holy Spirit. So when I'm filled with the Spirit, I don't get more of the Spirit. The Spirit gets more of me. I'm yielding myself in meekness to Him. Psalm 25:9, the meek will He guide in judgment, and the meek will He teach His way. This morning, will you learn the meekness? Jesus said, take my yoke upon me and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart. This morning, through this beatitude, for the way to make 2022 a blessed year, may God help us. I think it's more with men. I find most women more gentle. It's easier for them. It's their nature. I wouldn't say that's always the case, but for we men especially, meekness is not weakness. Meekness makes us look like Jesus Christ. Let's pray. I've chosen the invitation hymn, I surrender all. All to Jesus, I surrender. All to Him, I freely give. I will ever love and trust Him. In His presence daily live. I surrender. Oh, humbly at His feet I bow. Worldly pleasures all forsaken. Take me, Jesus. Take me now. Make me Savior wholly Thine. Truly know that Thou art mine. This morning, if you don't know Christ as your Savior, I pray you humble yourself. It's by God's grace He's given you another chance today. You could die at any moment. The rapture could take place any moment, and we've learned it's going to be much, much harder to get saved after that rapture. To live in that tribulation period. There will be some saved. Come now. The Holy Spirit is dealing with your heart. And the Holy Spirit is trying to help you to see. It's by being poor in spirit, by mourning, and being meek. That's who Jesus shows His salvation to. You can come this morning at the altar here in just a moment. We'll have someone help you if you need help to call upon the Lord to save you. If you're already a Christian, are you tamed? Or are you still a wild animal? Is there some areas of your life that are out of control? I can't stop. I can't stop doing this. I can't turn it off. I can't put it down. You need to learn meekness. I surrender all. Whatever your need this morning, you come. No one's going to bother you. Just kneel here. Talk to the Lord. Otherwise, just stay at your seat, heads bowed, in a spirit of prayer. You come as the Lord leads this morning. Father, thank you for the time this morning. In your word, this was a very hard message for me, Lord, to understand meekness and try to convey that to our church family. Help us to look to our Savior, Lord, in everything we do. Our attitudes, our spirit, our demeanor. We surely live in a world, Lord, where that's impossible without the control of the Spirit. We want a blessed year, Lord. We want your blessing upon our marriages, upon our children, upon our single lives, upon our families, upon the elderly, our children. We need the blessings of God. Meekness is another way to be blessed. Help us as we learn of you. And for this, we'll give you the thanks and praise in Jesus' name. Amen.